Thank you for calling me in today. I often don't get asked to come in to, any of these sessions at all. People assume that they know what's been happening, and they do not wish to speak directly to me. I guess because I don't have the celebrity lifestyle that the gossip seekers and searchers go somewhere else. While my platform has been able to give people the connection to those celebrities and to the news and everything else, creating the social media was very important for humanity at this time to connect with you all. So my purpose was to come across as an obscure, curious person who wanted to play with computer programs. And while I was led to believe that that was my own thoughts that popped into my own head, to be able to create such platforms, to be able to judge each other and compare each other, and to connect with each other. Now from this side of things, I realized that this was already a contract that I was performing. It was already decided when I was writing my life contract that I would be part of the birth of the Great Connection to people at this time. We knew when we were writing my life contract that the mainstream media was very limited and very restrictive to sharing the truth. While many will believe that the pure journalism that goes behind the research to be able to make the articles, to be able to make the segments on your news, used to have integrity a very, very, very long time ago, before things really got out of hand and before things needed to be covered up. So now from looking at it from this point of view, the social media platforms needed to happen, the internet needed to happen to be able to awaken humanity. And it has done that. It absolutely has done that. However, the forces and the people behind trying to create that fake veneer of information to be able to control and guide you into the narrative that they want from you and for you. This is also branched out. And now, while I look at my life, it was all perfectly planned and how it was supposed to go. There was nothing that went off path, nothing. So while I lived my life thinking that I was doing and creating and connecting, and my true intentions for humanity as a human was to be able to connect you all and make you feel the unity of the world through your similar passions and interests and goals. And this was something that I really truly wanted and believed in, was being able to bring people together to feel connected to each other. However, there was a part of the program, the system, that got away on me. And while I was happy to be able to connect people through that platform, part of me also was being manipulated quite badly to be able to control and manipulate, again, people into the same narrative. And I was around people who were very persuasive, my family and my influencers and my controllers, shall we say, who made sure that I did not peek out and learn the truth myself. So there was limitations there. And while I prided myself on being the best to make the best platform for the world to be able to connect, I couldn't see past the limitations that were and restrictions that were placed on my own life, and I couldn't see past the veil, the very thin veneer of the truth. And so I was starting to question things quite profoundly myself, because something didn't feel right within me. And when, of course, I started trying to research and find the truth of these matters, I was very busy actually with the platform and the back details and all of the marketing, all of the connections, all of the other offshoots for this platform. It was very, very, very complex and busy, and I really wanted to step back, but I couldn't. I was obsessed and addicted to my work, and I wanted to be able to keep going and navigate it through, making it the best ever. So my ego, my passion, did take me off from noticing what was also going around me. And so it was, again, as I say, it was all perfectly what I wanted to experience in that lifetime. And I did start questioning the bigger things. And that was when I was replaced. Because consciously I couldn't keep my information that I knew a secret. And so I was replaced with a clone that was going to fulfill the bigger purpose here, which was to guide people along a certain path, along the same narrative. That was to support the agenda of having world control and dominance and limitations, and removing your free will as such, but not the free will that you have been hearing about in these channels. It's more like the freedom to think for yourselves and move forward from yourselves. And so there was a lot of manipulation that was just going to be more and more and more increased as these fake dramas played out. The Agenda 21 was something that I was aware of. And while on paper, it did sound like it was helping to be able to control people from themselves. My conscious mind and my intuition didn't feel right. It didn't settle in right. And people question me all the time about how this could work. How could controlling people make people better? And I really wanted everyone to connect. And when I realized that people were being connected to the same sort of path without being able to have the freedom to think. I mean, I had to think outside of the box to be able to create my platform. And I like being able to think outside of the box to be able to produce new results. And so it was really complexing to me for quite a while I was having these inner thoughts of, how can this actually be right? Why are we having to suppress people? Why are we starting to control people? It did get quite out of hand, and I realized I couldn't actually trust that many people, because there was a lot of people who were very focused on me not noticing what was happening around me. And it was quite disconcerting. It was hard. It was hard when I was in that life to feel that way and think that way, and to be suppress myself. And it wasn't that long ago that I was replaced, and the clone who's replacing my life now is full steam ahead with controlling people more. The fact checkers came in not long after, and so this has been a very swift change, and I am pleased to see things from this side, to realize the other part of it, which I could not see which was when you're controlled so blatantly, when you are being suppressed so blatantly, when you're being when your censorship has been taken away from you so blatantly, and when the truths are being mislabeled as incorrect facts, this is also a way to help awaken humanity. These are more examples of how the truth is now so very blatantly obvious. While there are still some people that feel safe that the fact checkers are diligently doing their work, the people who are still on the fence, not too sure whether they're being lied to or controlled or manipulated, will see the fact checkers with the incorrect information. And this will just confirm to people that the platform now is very focused on guiding the unawoken to another path. And so the mainstream media and the social media, those platforms are the same. They are definitely the same. And it is not while the people who are in control of those think this is fantastic because they're getting away with it and they're driving people and the masses to follow their dictatorship of information. The truth is actually not that. The truth is people are waking up to how controlled these situations are. If you've moved away from the mainstream media and you've gone to the social media platforms to be able to express your opinions, and now that's been sensitized, you are even more confirmed now, and you're very much aware of how this is nonsense. And it's just making you more stronger with your belief systems. Your intuition is telling you that your freedoms are being taken away and you're trying to be manipulated. And that won't work. When you're awakened, you cannot become asleep again. You know for what it is. You can play within their rules, but know exactly what's happening. You don't need to keep poking the bear because the systems will take you offline. It will close you. It will shut down and suppress your profiles. A lot of people feel that like their profiles are extensions of themselves. The pretty veneer photos of their families, almost looking like they are perfect and timeless and they have no problems at all. When you all know that the truth is that behind one photograph is many days, many years of challenges and lessons that every family normally has. So this is interesting to see things from a bigger picture, because if I had just kept it to myself, knowing that this was being driven to kind of show people and awaken people, I wouldn't have fought so hard to expose the truth. But then I didn't see it from this perspective. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I am proud of what I'm very proud of what I helped create. Because while people think that I am a complete bastard for manipulation and driving people into another narrative, when you see it from my perspective, you actually see that it has really helped connect and did exactly what I wanted it to do. It helped connect people around the world with the same hobbies and passions and interests. And it has been a wonderful connection. And I understand the frustrations of people not feeling like they can freely connect with each other when these new restrictions have taken place. But changes are needed to take place to be able to move people forward. If you have been taken offline, if you have been suppressed and banned from this platform, this is really also your spiritual team trying to make you focus on yourself. Be a bit more real, stop being the veneer yourselves, and marinating yourselves in other people's dramas or situations. It is really a calling for you to go within deeper and not be distracted with anything that no longer serves you. And while the platform has now been manipulated to be very addictive, to keep letting you know that you need to focus on it, it is very needy. It is you could make it like it's a very attention-seeking puppy that you have to keep attending to and nurture and feed and connect with them. It is relentless. It is designed to make you completely addicted to it, and feel like you have to have it in your life. And the thought now of me saying to people, take a week off this platform, could probably make you feel very uncomfortable. So it depends on how much you're addicted to this. Of course, there are people that can totally take it or leave it. And that is fine too. That is definitely the more healthier approach. If you do have the people that you can connect with, and just share your lives with, and your wins and your challenges and your struggles. I mean, that is still beautiful. You don't need to connect with 50,000 people who like the same type of food to feel connected with this world at the moment. You simply don't. You can be connected to a certain few and have the needs of your social connections fulfilled right now. At this moment, we are trying desperately, this is all your collectives now speaking, we're trying to really get you to connect in with yourselves, and see if there is anything that needs to be released from your 3D lives. And you're all doing a tremendous job, because everything is coming up now. It is impossible for you not to be triggered by certain things, and this is fun. This is exactly what you need to do. This is the last stage scene for this lifetime, for these experiences, and this is great for you to be able to explore them and see how they unfold for you. We know that a lot of people are getting anxious about the thought of this being their last lifetime on Earth. Remember, you do not die. It is merely just another page being turned in your big book of your life. And we don't want people getting hung up on death. It is very natural. It is very beautiful. It is just as exciting as birth. And you know how excited you get when there is a birth in the family. It is new. It is fresh. It is exciting. And so we don't want you to get worried about the thought of you leaving this lifetime on Earth, because as you know, you still remain the same as you enter into your new birth. Some of you will pass on here to then go to your homes. So it is not final. You are very much excited to go home. And once you are at home, you will think, goodness me, I wish I had done that earlier. That was so fantastic. I can't believe it. I can't believe I was stressing about it. So it is your minds that are trying to make you feel worried. And there is nothing for you to be worried about at all. It is completely natural. Your transcension into the new earth, into your higher dimensions, and returning home is fantastic. It absolutely is fantastic, and we would not be telling you otherwise. And we are aware that there are some people here who think that what we are saying about with the new earth is doom and gloom and doomsday is, and it's not. If you have that approach to this information, you are still at the very beginning stages of your development. And there is no shame in that. You all have been at those very early stages of the development. We understand the information that you're hearing and through these messages are very advanced compared to what most people are talking about. Most people are still saying that the new earth is on this earth, and that is not the case. And it is very hard for you to understand why and how you need to be evacuated from this planet. But if you understood the history of the universe, and you understood that many planets go through this, because while you think that the planets are forever and ageless, they also do die in such a way that they would change their bodies completely. Planets do not reincarnate in their physical, just like you do not reincarnate in your physical. You leave your shell, your body, your vehicle, and you move on and create a new body and vehicle. And while you do have walk-ins, Planets do not have walk-ins. One soul of the planet does not leave and another soul of the planet comes in. That is not what the purpose of the planet life is. And there are lots of planets that have had their bodies taken away from them before their conscious minds were ready for it. And that's partly through wars, partly through the misuse of that planet with the occupants on it. And there's a lot to unpack there. What you understand and know about the universe and the planets and the history of your own home planets and the history of all the other planets you've ever explored. It's very interesting, but we understand that it's not the information you are needing to work and focus on in this lifetime. That is not the purpose to come here on the planet to be able to explore this lifetime and feel the density and master these lower emotions, while also trying to understand the mysteries of the universe. Those are that's truly the information that someone who is becoming very aware of their veil, very thinning, and they're starting to recall many things. And so if you're finding that you're daydreaming and thinking about the history of the world, the worlds, and your home planets, it means that you truly are more advanced and you are thinking more about the bigger picture of life than just having the illusion that this is a one lifetime experience. So while you have free will to choose what you want to think about and what you want to learn, if you've got some emotional shadows still in your 3D life that you have not unpacked, that may be the best opportunity for you to focus on now, because the information about the universe will always be there for you later when you actually really do need it to apply it. So while it is, we could actually say it's the gossip of the universe, you're trying to figure out the gossip of the universe and get the rundowns of what's been happening. And while everyone likes to know gossip and to be able to know bigger truths, and maybe gossip isn't the right terminology here, but you know what we're meaning, it doesn't feed it doesn't help you grow to what you need to be focusing on now. For some, others have completely finished their 3D life processes. They are merely in this holding pause pattern. And so this other sensation of home and what their planets feel like is quite appropriate. So we don't want to misspeak for some and all, because we know that the audience is very diverse now, quite diverse now. So please do not, if we speak of all and you do not feel like that is resonating for you because it's not applicable to you, please don't think that we are not seeing you, because we are, but we also know that you are the bigger being, that you can understand that we aren't missing you out because you're not important, because you are all very important, but we also know that you are mature enough to be able to cope and understand the bigger things, the bigger purposes that we're saying here. So we hope that you don't feel that we are telling you off or trying to push you into a direction that you are not wanting to go. We are merely trying to discuss with you bigger concepts and bigger information, and also get you excited about the new earth and the shifts that are happening, while also trying to explain to you the purpose of social media platforms. And while you think that they can be very corrupt and damaging for humanity, they actually do serve a very good purpose to awaken humanity while connecting humanity. So again, it's just re-looking at these things with our perspective and making peace with it. There truly isn't anything that's evil or damaging humanity at this moment in time now. You're only damaging yourselves by your old belief systems that there are bad guys getting you. It is beyond that now. And so the people who have been shocked and traumatized from knowing about those agendas, they are still processing through the information. And once they realize, and very soon realize, that that was what was one option of the direction of where humanity was going to go. But of course, if they trusted us and knew about us, they would know that we would never let that get too out of hand. That was very ambitious people with very strong agendas to be able to serve themselves. And that cannot take place. It could not have taken place because it is impacting all of your free will. And yes, while they have been impacting your free will to some degrees, the balance of you learning the bigger lessons and the more diverse lessons has been very important for you as well. And so, you know, we've been monitoring this a very long time and making sure there's still growth here. But the density of the planet and the stresses of the planet, you know, it's not getting any better. And now that more people are waking up, it's feeling even more hard to keep living in this polarity of the third dimension and the fifth dimensional mindsets of being in fear constantly versus see the bigger picture and not buying into the bullshit that Joanne would say. So we understand that you now know the bigger pictures, and we want to keep giving you these little insights and bring in people like who we did to be able to help you see the bigger picture and their intentions. The souls understand the role they played, and for him to come in today and tell you about his side of things, how he had to keep playing the role. He did wake up and he was suppressed for that, and he is fine for that. Yes, he did take his power and his money. It did go to his head. He did have a God complex there for a while. And he did indulge himself in things because it was very difficult for him not to. Because it wasn't just him. You have to think about the people who are around him, the people who were supporting him and controlling him with their social friendships. There's a lot of people who you know, who are the heads of companies, and you judge that one individual person without actually being aware of how much they've been controlled and how much the handlers have been manipulating them. So it is very interesting how the people who truly are responsible for these darker agendas are usually the sidekick, the person that's not in public, the person who's almost unknown to you. Those are the people who truly did have really bad intentions for humanity. So it's never truly been the bigger names, the bigger faces that you are aware of. But because you're growing and because you're evolving and your mindsets are becoming more balanced and you're seeing things with the appreciation that all is to help awaken humanity at this point, you're not judging individuals, you're judging agendas. Now, and you're aware of agendas, shall we say. It's not really a judgment. You're just aware of the approaches and groups of people wanted to have for humanity. And they were doing it to think that they knew better, while also keeping themselves in power and control and to keep their egos going. So we hope that you can apply this information not just to this one person situation, but for many, because it can be applicable to many other people who have platforms, who have also been gone down the same track, and companies and industries, and it is repeated. The reason why we do not name the person who we've just brought in today is because we want it to be applicable to all, and for you to understand there could be many people. It's not a unique situation for this one man. It is many scenarios. And this is why we want you to use your intuition and to be able to understand that it's not just this unique situation for that platform. It is for most of them. And so we're trying to help you again with your homework and being able to approach things with the bigger mindsets. And we know that you can understand this. This is just confirmation for you. This is no shock and surprise. But we're just wanting you to just empower yourselves and be proud of yourselves for knowing this information. You haven't necessarily thought about it like this and unpacked it in this way. You don't really need to. But this is just more confirmation for you that you know the inner truths, you know the bigger pictures now. So we thought that this might have been interesting for you to be able to have seen it and heard about it from that perspective. So we say have a fantastic day and we're sending you much love.